So far, well, 4 of us. Well, yeah, 3 members, yeah.
We gotta have 5.
Dan and Pete just jumped on.
Okay.
Dan and
Pete,
Pete.
so that's 5.
Must be 2 Peters and 2 Pete.
Well, he's sitting outside and
Yeah.
enjoying
I
life.
know.
Where's your mask? A voice.
He's muted.
I need my barley pop.
Dan gonna be on phone.
Hey, Dan, can you hear us? Still muted. No, he's down there, which usually means
Oh,
if their name's in, yeah.
there
he is.
Welcome, Don. Yeah.
Wayne will probably call. I think, I don't know if he's working Lake Patrol Crew or something.
Yeah. I didn't see him over the town hall. I thought he had to be here to work.
Sir.
Sir?
Yeah. Never go wrong with calling him sir.
That's only when I know I'm doing something like that, sir. I gotta have an advantage on me.
Dan left.
Wayne's on the line.
No, he's not on yet. You guys, we lost Dan Osborne. We're gonna wait a minute and see if he logs back in. So it looks like we've got a quorum, right?
Yes.
What happens if halfway through the meeting, we lose a quorum because connection?
Everybody goes home. See you tomorrow.
Oh, at that moment forward.
I'll second that.
Pete's gonna log off right now.
Yeah. At least you can walk on, Pete.
I thought we had a rule you couldn't have more than one Manchester grad on the committee together.
Who else is a Manchester grad?
You're talking to him.
Hey, all right, very good.
You know, you
Say, is it too late to make that a rule?
you do wear the crosstown rival colors though, but I'll give you kudos on the Manchester part.
Okay,
You
best
probably,
5 years of my life.
there you go. You probably remember my college roommate, my good buddy from high school, Mr. Gary Triplett.
Yes, I do. Yes.
Great guy.
Wonderful. Yes. Wonderful, wonderful man.
Well, Dan's back in there. Dan, can you hear us? I might text him. Kevin Berger's on there, I think.
Oh,
Let me-
yeah, I should have known that.
But I'm not. I'm not.
Dan, are you on the phone and on your computer?
Yes, for some reason I can't get the audio going on my computer, so I have my phone going too. So
Yeah,
can
we
you
can-
see me?
Perfect.
Yeah, I guess at this time we go ahead and start the meeting then, so we'll call the planning commission meeting call to order. We'll start with roll call. Do you want to take care of that, Don?
You're muted, Don.
I think you're muted.
Not like I've done this before. Okay, how about now?
All right, good.
All right, Gary McManaway,
Present.
Pete Peterson,
Present.
Chester Goot, Wayne Bean, Dan Osborne,
Present.
Joel Samuelson,
Present.
Andy Strati.
Present.
Okay,
Don Box is here.
we have a quorum.
Yeah, fine. All right. So we're missing only Wayne Huh?
And Chester.
and Chester. Okay. All right, come on, join the pledge to the flag. Somewhere.
Look
All right.
that way.
Okay.
Pledge allegiance to the
To the
flag.
flag,
United States
States
of
of
America. and
to the
the
republic, which
which
stands
Under
one nation, under
under
God,
indivisible.
indivisible, with
With
liberty and justice for all.
for all.
Good job, guys.
Better last time.
Much better than last time.
Just take it down, well, you know. Does that help you?
It's keeping those in there. All right, everybody had a chance to, look at the minutes from last month.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes.
I'll second.
The second from, sorry.
Pete.
Okay, thank you.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
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 Unanimous. All right. We're gonna, we do that for old business first, or
No, you can't.
if anybody's got any old business at this time, or new, we'll just take both of them and address them.
Yeah, this is Don. I was just going to ask Chuck if we have any update or movement on 709 Obispo.
No, at this time, we've asked Clevenger to take that to court. Jonathan has talked to them. They've told us that they wanted to go ahead and fix this place up, but looks like they don't have a plan or the money, one of the two. So Jonathan and I discussed it, and we told Clevenger to get a court date to go to court on it.
Okay.
We're not going to waste a lot of time on it.
Thanks.
Who's actually on the
Some people out of Lafayette, West Lafayette, someplace.
Any new business or anything?
You want to talk about that residential?
Yeah, I am, next, I just come bring it up with the, right after your report.
Okay, my report, I think I gave you the biggest part of it. There has been, just so everybody knows, I get probably anywhere from 1 to 3 calls almost on a daily basis talking about Culver, about various properties in Culver, what they can do, what they can't do, what direction we're looking at. There is just a ton of activity and people making offers, counter offers, a lot of stuff going on in Culver. Just, it seems like we've transitioned from lakeside properties to now we're going inward, and people aren't as worried about how close to the lake they are as being able to get a house that they can fix up. I think our property values have been high always around the lake, but I think now interior lots and houses are going for more than they have been in the past. So that's a good thing unless you're buying and then it becomes a bad thing. But, as long as, we have residents who are willing to fix the houses up, from maybe an average condition to something that's even better, I think it's a good thing, but it's just amazing how many calls and people I talk to on a daily basis that are looking at the town of Culver. People that want to come move back and retire. Move back for 7 to 9 months out of the year, go to Florida for a couple months. And, it's just really surprising. It's not. In the 10 years that I've been doing this job, we haven't had that same level of interest and intensity about the town of Culver. So.
Chuck, I've got a comment as well as just a question for you. The comment was that, we had a couple of young guys, late 20s and one maybe like 30, went to the academy and they're both living in Chicago in separate apartments. And they stayed with us for a while because until their rental house was ready, because they said they just got fed up with, paying crazy prices for a 1-bedroom in Chicago, and it was just hard to live. And then, there were some riots and demonstrations, and so they basically said to heck with it and have moved to Culver. So I wonder if, we'll see more of that. And then my question was, are you getting calls about any commercial properties, or is it almost all residential?
Scattered questions about commercial properties. The last one I had was about the dry cleaners here on Main Street.
Uh-huh.
And someone wanted to buy that into residential.
Okay.
And I told them that it was zone commercial, was most likely going to stay that way because of all the properties around it. But if they wanted to get a variance of use, they would have to go before the BZA, but that's the best I could tell them. But nobody big yet as far as coming into the communities. Few questions about some of the properties here on Main Street. Can we put a resident downstairs on the main floor, which of course is no. But people are looking at all avenues, trying to come up with a place where they'd be comfortable living.
Anything else for Chuck?
I do, and I can't I feel bad like I'm asking too many questions tonight, but just things I've been thinking about. Is there anything going on with the Bestie project west of town?
Good question.
Oh, Chester, you're with us.
Yes, finally got in.
Yay! Sorry, I'm typing, so I don't have you all on screen, so I can't tell who's there.
Okay.
Wayne, are you here?
No, I can't wait.
Yes.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Now he is.
Cagey.
Now, I got on a couple minutes late because I couldn't get it signed in.
Okay. Remind me where the property that is and where's that?
This was, I've forgotten his first name, honestly, Bestie, and this was a property that was going to be kind of west of the high school. We recommend approval of the PUD over there.
The gas
Yeah.
station and everything.
Yeah, along with a gas station on the corner of 10 and 17.
Yeah.
He was supposed to put 75 houses in.
Right. I'll just jump in for a minute just on that, because I know that we had extended that PUD for them. But if I'm staying corrected, but I thought that was in August.
Yeah, that's right.
So if we have no word from him, he would have to reapply after August.
And right now, there's been nothing, I've heard nothing from him.
Okay.
Well, things are probably moving pretty slow now with this coronavirus thing.
I don't think so in Culver. Everybody seems to be moving pretty quick.
Really?
Yes, they're,
It sounds like-
Good.
We took the little green house down. That was a good thing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let me do that last bit.
you said thanks.
Okay. All right, no more for Chuck, Don? I'm just kidding.
Done.
Last meeting, we discussed some, I guess really misunderstood or it caused a little bit of ambiguous thoughts as far as the way the ordinances were written and process for the BZA to actually recognize what actually needed a variance and what didn't need a variance. And one of the things that is on there is I noticed, and I think Pete and I talked about this once, I think you remember Pete. In residential zoning, R1, R2, and right down the line, in the past, we've always had a front yard setback of 25 feet for these zones. And we've always had 10-foot setbacks for sides and rear. But I know now that in the new ordinances, when pages were done, it shows that a R1 requires a 25-foot setback. And in trying to understand this, I think there were some that were saying that they're holding that 25-foot setback for the primary structure only. And then any kind of accessory structure that goes in the back would still have to require that 10-foot setback. And I don't know how this changed. I know we all looked at this and evidently a lot overlooked it, but I would like to, and I think Johnson was going to get, or you say you had, if you had anything on the.
We don't have anything written up.
You don't have nothing as far as the past ordinances previous to this new change.
No.
Because, I mean, in my opinion, or my personal part of it, as far as my position here, I think having 2 setbacks written down in a residential or whatever, to me is causing more confusion than it is setting a standard. And I think if we held to the 10-foot setback on the rear and the sides, other than the places that it would require 25, which is a corner lot, you know, from the streets. And I think we've got some pretty good ideas as far as what we do with alleys. But in those conditions, then the setback does change. But I know we've had L1 is pretty well the same way right now, 25 to 25. But I think when you're building a new home and looking for a setback, if you got 10-foot setback and you want your house on the, say 10-foot, 12-foot, under the 25, by having it this way, you automatically are going to require variance again if you're an L1 or whatever, because you got that 25 setback suburban as well, you know, as far as S1. And if you make it that 10 foot, even if they put their primary structure, they would still have to require a variance to put their accessory structure. But I think I would rather see a variance come up for an accessory structure rather than the primary before they build it. I mean, I'm under the assumption that when you're building a new house and you have somebody designing a new home, there's no reason why setbacks should not be recognized. Because you've already got pattern of the lot. And I know there's circumstances, just like we dealt with at BZA this past week, because of the size of the lot, the way the light, shape, and things like that. But on the ordinary, I think there's 10-foot setbacks like we had done it in the past. Pete, you know what I'm talking about as far as,
Yeah, I did not realize that this was not 10 foot until I seen that picture and I actually read it through it because I was, it's always been 10 feet, Barry, as we well know, from on both side and rear.
I knew we talked about amending this to where you put added note, whatever. But I mean, if you just put it, I think this myself, I mean, you got to say what you feel. But I think the potential setback on R1, R2 and all that stuff should be always be required. I know you come into a lot of your office records and everything else, it's possible to be 25 front and back on our, so you would variance.
Barry, while you're looking at that, on page 22, on the S1, the rear yard setback in the verbiage says the minimum is 25 feet, but in the picture it shows 15.
I know. S1,
S1 and page 22.
right, he does. But I know S1 does require more, and I think the whole idea of that was because it was supposed to have, I mean, I think a lot of size reading.
Yeah.
I think a 25-foot rear setback, if you're building a home, is not out of reason. 10 foot on the side yard is fine, but I wouldn't want somebody to build 10 feet away from my backyard if they're building a home there. I'd rather have it farther away.
Yeah, but Chester, a lot of times your rear yard, you're going to have a pole building or something back there, a storage shed. It's meant maybe not the primary residence.
That's possible. leave the 10 foot for the accessory building and a 25 foot for the residence. That's the way I view it. I don't think
I
the
could
way
live with
it's
that.
written is bad.
Well, just so you know, this is Chuck, just so you know, we do have with that 25-foot setback in the rear and 25-foot front yard setback.
Yes.
Some residential properties, you can't get a house in there.
Sure.
Then
The lots are
then
too-
you go to the BZA,
I,
which is what it's there for, to handle those kind of necessities. There's always a different, I mean, every time you come up with something, you know, it's going to be different from.
But as a plan commission, it's our job and our responsibility to have things as we want them and as they should be.
Yes.
If these variances keep coming up over and over, we haven't done our job as far as setting things up initially in the beginning.
I agree 100%.
yeah, I agree 100% because I think anytime that we, as a plan commission, pass the bucket, if you will, to the BZA, where the BZA is actually, I don't like to use the word control, but they're actually controlling what the intent was. But by that, they're either going to allow variance or not allow variance.
Last month with BZA, we had two cases and they both dealt with rear yard setbacks of less than 25 feet. And what both people wanted to do was to put a shed in their rear yard. And that was it. It was that simple. Both were passed by the BZA.
Isn't that allowed under the ordinance right now?
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
I thought there was an accessory, you could have an accessory structure 10
No.
feet.
No, the way the
No.
ordinance reads, it has to be 25 feet. That's what we're trying to say is
Oh, okay.
we need to be looking at this so that we don't make sure that we're doing the right thing and not getting so many variances in front of us. But if we are getting variances in front of us for that, and that's not the intent, we need to be saying no a whole lot more times.
Well,
I think that somehow got changed because I know that 10 feet in the rear setback or 10-foot rear setback was in place for years.
yes.
It's been like that for, I know, 15 years out of mine. 5, I guess it's been like this, you know, and 6 years now.
So would you
Well, the
say?
10
that-
foot would be okay for an accessory structure. That wouldn't bother me at all.
Would you
for
still want the
resi-
25 feet for the
25
primary
feet for the residents. Yeah.
Well, you got L1, that's 25 feet from the front yard, and anytime they want an accessory structure, it has to be a variance. And it's the same thing on the rear yard for S1 and L1, and it still requires a variance for the structure.
So, it's just another, I guess, question or point. When I go to page 82 in accessory structures, the very last paragraph says, unless otherwise provided for in a given district, an accessory structure to residential use in the rear yard and shall be a setback of no less than 10 feet.
There you go.
So, so it's, I think, it's more a question, I guess, to all of you, but is the problem then that it's in page 82 for accessory structures, but then when you just flip to R1, R2, that language is not carried over. And it looks
Yeah,
like it's 25 feet.
No, I agree. I think if you somehow homogenize those two in that one page, it sure helped the clarity of it.
Yeah.
Well, I think we would probably have to do it on each district, where we would say rear yard setback would be, for the primary structure would be 25 feet.
Yes.
And then rear yard setback for the accessory structure would be 10 feet.
Yes.
I think
Gee, I thought that was the way it was written in there. No, I must have been reading the wrong zoning area or something.
I think the intention of these sheets here on these on the R1 and everything individual things is kind of a quick flip chart to look at it. And to me, it's if it has it on there, it'd be a lot easier than reading through the fine print in the back.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got primary structure being, you're talking about the bare minimum being 10 feet on your yard. If they're gonna build a new home and they want an accessory structure, are they gonna build that primary home knowing they have to get a variance for that accessory structure? Or would they build it 20 feet from the rear yard in order to do that without paying for a variance?
Would,
And so, you know, you can come up with having to have a variance for both if you're not careful.
but would we still keep the rear yard setback for primary structure at 25 feet?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't.
An accessory would be 10 feet.
It'd be discretion of the homeowner.
Pete, what are you thinking there? I saw you shaking your head.
I think the 25 feet for a primary is I think should stay. And then once again, you could still use the appeals to the BZA just like you would on L1 if you want to change that. I think that the majority of the rear yard setback situation is going to be some kind of a building, in my opinion.
I think we're creating a problem.
If we say 25 feet for the primary structure, which is exactly what we say for the primary structure now.
But right, but we have to add that variance for that.
But they come for a variance. What we're running into is the accessory structures.
Sure.
More than primary structures. And so what we're trying to do is eliminate the number of variances for the secondary structure, allow them to go within 10 feet of the rear yard setback. House still has to pay the primary at 25 feet. If they want to be different, then they come for the BZA. Then that way, they don't have to come. We eliminate, like last month, the last two variances we had at the BZA. Because those were just
On the south side of town, lots for the majority through there are 99 feet back. Most of them are around 66 to 70 feet long. Now, if you hold a 25-foot setback from the front and the back, that's 50 feet off your 99, and you can only put the primary 49 foot space. You're forcing that house to be dead middle, 49 feet.
But isn't that really what we want? You want 5 feet off of the.
It might be what we want, but what we want was 25 feet off the lake too, but we're for line sites, our houses are still creeping back to the lake through the branch. And you go and where they build, and the whole idea of the ordinance is kind of houses 25 feet. Not doing that either.
Looking at that wrong, what is off of the lake, is that 25 feet is the minimum, no matter what the line is.
Correct.
So if they go any closer to it.
Yeah.
Houses are already past that 20, and the house in the middle can still be past that 25
I,
feet as
I
well.
don't believe so, and I think that you're wrong on that, because we have, it says a minimum of 25 feet, and then if it's less, you gotta go by the line of sight, but you can't go less than the 25 feet. So we're keeping them 25 feet. Yeah, I think you are right that some of them are moving more forward than they were before. They're not less than 25 feet. I mean, I think we have to hold that. That's what we've been trying.
There are feet, I know on the West Shore, it's not possible.
So how about if this, guys, what if I write up, let's say, an amendment to the zoning ordinances, listing which ordinances it affects. Top, set, and send that out before next meeting, and maybe by next meeting, then we can have some consensus and clarity of where we want to go.
Sounds good.
Good.
Hey, you guys kind of cut in and out there. So let's make sure I get this from this. So Jonathan, we're gonna take a stab at some clarifying language.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. That's great.
I'll write it up in the different options that we discussed tonight. The two
Good.
different
Cumbersome trying to do like one sheet, like people have been discussing about having one accessory structures, you give examples, and then you say like how much the setback needs to be. It's gonna sound wordier as I say it, but basically it'll break down like.
Well, pretty broke down to the 10 setback is required at 10 feet for accessory and required.
In residential and lake.
Primary.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
what I
know
mean.
that we're gonna run in as soon as the garage is attached. They're still gonna run.
It's attached. That's how I would look at it.
Right.
But we can talk more about that next month.
Yeah, right.
Okay, thank you.
The other thing, I mean, it's still gonna go through.
Okay.
Guys, this isn't just to help us not having appeals to BZA all the time. It's also to help Chuck too on some interpretations.
Sure.
Yep.
Actually, I know Dan, myself, we are finding ourselves not being continuous with the intent or the intent, never intent. But as far as the intent of the ordinance starts, and it does, and us being continuous, and I think
And, you know, and this could have been cleared up before, but, you know, I won't name any names, but our past building commissioner, Russ Mason, I think that's what he just took it upon himself to change the rear yard setback and allowed that to happen, and didn't make them come before BZA. I'm making them come before the BZA because of what the ordinance says. So I'll take that into consideration.
Do I have anything else to add to this?
I'll try to get that out about 10 days before the next meeting. That way you have
Right.
at it. We can
Perfect.
changes in building field, put that in, I can look at it at the meeting. Yeah.
Do we have any citizens out there listening that
Kevin Berger. Any citizens input?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Hello.
See, you can't hide behind that KV stamp.
Wayne's had his hand up forever here.
Wayne wants to say something? Okay.
Well, I was gonna ask, is an example of it is like that plate that on 606 Peru Court, Chuck, on that setback stuff.
Yes.
606.
Oh, yeah, I know where it's at.
And that's kind of an example of what we're talking about, correct? With the people
Yes, that is.
placing buildings.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
Hello.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right,
You know, guys, I've got a little concern with it where you're talking about the lake side too. So I'd watch that language, because since the rear yard for those properties are always on a street, it becomes a sight distance issue, even if you hold them back 10 feet in some cases.
Yep.
I'm not sure.
Oh, the front yard is the lakeside,
Lakeside.
rear yard is the.
And that's another issue that we need to look at too, as far as the rear setback, and especially on the east shore. I know, and it has happened, and this was right here at the time, not to be talking about anybody else, but I know at the time that the commissioners changed hands, I guess. We wound up with a house right there that was built 10, 15 feet off the road.
No, not even that far.
And I'm giving a lot of credit for that 10, 15 feet. I mean, we had to get the fence actually changed, but that is a state highway. And state does not allow a house to be 10 feet off their road. And we have somehow allowed that to happen. I know that setback is gonna have to be pushed as much as when it can, especially on the L1.
Setback on
We
one
are-
side is supposed to be 85 feet. So anything less than 85 feet should require a variance at that point. But if you allow a shed or a garage or something to be out there closer, I think that needs to be looked at individually because of the sight distance.
Yep.
But I think
Good point.
my point is, I don't like it, but I think we would actually be state regulated to have that setback because of the state. I don't
Understood.
think a county nor a town plan commission or the EDA 81 can actually allow a variance for that unless it went through the state. And if I'm wrong, Chuck, you can probably tell me.
Yeah, I would.
Am I correct in that?
Yeah, I'm just looking here at our wording.
You gotta define where the property line's at too, because you get some of those over there and they use the utility poles, I think sometimes as properties, and man, I think it's pretty vague, especially in some of those tight areas.
Right. But I mean, I know we had our ordinances changed as far as because of the view of the lake. We tried to get that part, but when we're not even being in according to the state review requirements, then we're actually hurting ourselves by doing that. And I mean, I worry about our oath, our position, and our obligation as far as our positions on claim committee. And I do worry about that. And I don't know what can be done other than we could actually state what it is and then whatever has to be done in order to get the variance or do to correct this problem. I mean, I know it's been going on for years and years, and I don't know that this problem can be grandfathered in to keep continue doing the same thing over. But it is something that we need to think about as far as when we talk about these setbacks.
Well, to add to what Gary has said, in R2, the minimum front yard setback, which would be the roadside, is 25 feet, but if it's on a state highway, it's 85 feet from the center line or 25 feet from the property line. So those are, that's in the R2 and R1, but then when we get to the L1, we don't quite follow that through.
But our ordinance should be written to complement.
No, we can't override the state law.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I just think it's a problem we need to actually look at as far as things for future members as well. Got to be able to look into that as well. I guess, I am putting everything on you, and I'm not doing it. All right, are you? done, Jeff, for-
Yeah.
Okay. All right, any more concerns or input from commission members? I do want to welcome our new member. I don't remember your last name. Say your name.
Andy Stratty.
Everybody.
Stratty.
Huh?
Stratosphere.
Stratty.
Stratosphere.
Oh, Stratty. Stratty. Blame it on.
Where you live at, Andy?
401 South Ohio Street, corner of Mill in Ohio.
Oh, okay. Yep.
The hot corner.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
401 what? Down
not 25 feet from a neighbor.
Down your area.
Yeah, he's my neighbor.
Yeah. I got into the meeting late because I couldn't get contact here, but did we cover unsafe buildings and rundown properties yet? Where we're at on those?
We covered everything that was going on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Chester, I asked about Obispo.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that was the only unsafe one I think we discussed.
And the Hopple property is it gonna meet on that? What, on the 25th? Is that?
The unsafe board on Thursday, Chester.
Oh, okay.
We're, it's like pushing a rock uphill. We're pushing
Yeah.
it. We're going to get it to the top of the hill, but
Square rock too.
yeah, it just, there's a lot of resistance.
Yeah.
We did make him get, from the unsafe board, did make him get a soil scientist out to look at and redesign septic system.
Uh-huh.
He's supposed to be bringing that back this month, and he's got 30 more days from Thursday to get his roof done.
Hmm.
We're
That's-
pushing, but it's uphill.
Who is that? That's
Apple.
Hopple.
Yeah.
There's a roof issue over on Jefferson and 17. The last time from out of the minutes I saw.
Oh, Boatsma's, I said that was last month. last meeting that that's in compliance. He screwed down the roof.
Oh,
It's
oh, okay.
At least not blowing around as it was.
Great.
And so,
Okay.
I took him off of the unsafe list.
Okay.
So he's, right now, of course, he's only done the minimum, but he has done the minimum.
Mm-hmm.
And there'll be something else that comes up with that property just because there's just no one there and there's no maintenance to it.
Time goes on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
Pete,
I got nothing.
Don, I'm trying to ask her,
Nothing.
has anything everybody say, just no?
No.
All right. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Everybody scream aye.
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 Okay.
So I heard Chester. Who else made the motion? Just saw the minutes are accurate.
Pete,
Yeah. Yes. Pete made the
Okay.
motion. I made the second.
Okay. And you both did a really fine job. Thank you.
Yeah,
motion was,
unanimous.
motion.
Okay. Nice meeting, Andy.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Good
well,
to have you.
I'll say that. Thank you.
Thanks, Andy. Here are the minutes.
Hopefully we'll meet sometime face to
Yeah.
face.
I look forward to that. Hopefully we can have these meetings face to face soon.
Fingers
Sometime
crossed.
soon.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thanks.
You guys,
Good talking to y'all. Yeah.
sometime in the future, when you get a chance, stop in to town hall and you can find these, minutes to where they'll.
Okay.
Please.
All right. Thanks for the reminder.
Oh, yeah. Okay. For last month's minutes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes,
We got
Okay.
last month and this month, the only one guy.
yes.
Gee, that was a good job on the minutes, Don. Thanks, as always. Thanks, Barry.
No problem. Thank you.
Boy, that's a big room you're
Keep it distant.
in. Yep.
Going through the old book, trying to find it.
Adios.